Hello, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a continuation of the frequently asked questions series, and today I'm going to be answering the question: how do you find the right contact to move up the career ladder? And there was also a related question: how do you build a network of people within the communications industry? As always, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the question, just using my own perspective and hoping that you get some value from it as well. Now, I'm going to start off answering this question by really talking you through my own journey networking and building contacts within the industry. It's not something that I've always been deliberate about, I'll be very honest, and some of it has just really been divine orchestration, but I'm just going to talk you through it, and then you can use the tips that can apply to you or your own particular circumstance. Now, before running the comms avenue, and so this is before 2020, I was running a communications agency, and all the kind of networking that I did was to get clients because I needed money. I needed people to know me and engage my services or the services of my firm at the time. Now, when I started networking, I found it very, very awkward and uncomfortable because the narrative that I had heard was, okay, you meet somebody, walk up to them, introduce yourself to them, give them your business card, and then, you shoot your shots. But I tried it, but it was very, very awkward. It didn't really sit well with me. I wasn't so big on small talk. So I would say, my name is Adedoyin Jaiyesimi, I run da 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 da. And I used to talk really fast. So I would just, run through everything, and the person just there looking at me, and so what? I mean, they don't say that, but you can see it in the person's eyes. So I'm just like, what am I supposed to say after this point? So I found it really, really awkward. But one thing that I thought was really instrumental was and those of you that have read my book, you will have seen this story, was when I went for the first WinBiz conference I attended, and I'd forgotten my business cards, and there I was practicing some of the networking tips that I'd gotten. But I found that the relationships of the connections, let me use the word connections, that the connections that I made, maybe with a co-volunteer, somebody that I met over lunch, somebody that I met in the toilet, that those ones had like longevity, that it was more natural. Maybe I should describe it that way. And those relationships, I'm still connected with those people. This is 7-8 years later. So it began to tell me that, okay, there is networking that needs to be, or there's a part of networking that really needs to be authentic to you. All the other things that people had shared with me at that point, it was not that they were not useful. It's just that because of the kind of person that I am, it just didn't work for me. So I decided to explore the path of authenticity. Another thing that I discovered is that it is very, very important for you to articulate your value proposition. Imagine that you want to meet the CEO of a multinational, and then you attend this conference where they were speaking at, and then have a chance to speak to this person, and you just go to the person, my name is XYZ, I'm so inspired by you, thank you. Do you know how many people that are telling her or him that they are inspired by what they've said or what they do? I used to manage social media for really, really top executives, and I see their DMs. People are saying the same thing. In fact, there was a particular conference that I stood aside, still in that time where I really wanted to hack this networking thing. And I just stood aside, and then I saw the line of people wanting to speak with this particular person, and everyone will come, hand over the business card. Oh, I would like you to mentor me. You inspire me. But at least 5 people said exactly the same thing. And you know what will happen after they was finished, their speech? Just take the business card, hand it over to the P, and then it went into the pile of business cards. And I just asked myself, what is going to happen to those business cards? How is this person, or how can somebody stand out in this poll? I realized that defining my value proposition is very, very important, and I had to learn how to do it in very natural ways. So let me give you an example. I was invited for an event at the Tony Elumelu Foundation office. This was probably 2019. It was not an industry event. I was going there, and I happened to be in one of the offices just doing some work. I can't remember why I was in the office, but then in walks in this really beautiful lady. I think I wrote about this encounter in my book, and she's wearing all red, and then she has all black, and I'm like, wow, this baby's fine. And me, I love giving people compliments. I've always been like that, so that's one of my weapons in networking. And if it's not natural to you, don't do it, but it works for me. So I was like, wow, you look so lovely, wearing all red and all black. And then we got talking, and she said what her role was at the foundation. I was like, wow, really amazing work that you do here. Have you thought about? So I started to talk to her about what I do and things that they can think about, just to build on the brand, build on what they've achieved across Africa and all. And she was like, that's interesting. Let's connect after Christmas and talk about this further. No problem. So I get her number, I get her email address. I can't remember whether I sent her Merry Christmas. I think, knowing myself, I'm sure I will have sent her Merry Christmas. New Year, first Monday. Dear XYZ, Happy New Year. Just a reminder about the conversation we had in December. Let me know when you have some time so that we can talk about possibilities. And the possibilities ended up with me doing about 2 master classes for the entrepreneurs, and then I spoke at there's this general event that they have where they bring everybody to Abuja, and I was one of the speakers at it was called the TEF alumni dinner. I think that was a mentor-mentee dinner or something like that, and I had a speaking opportunity. That's an example. I didn't go there to meet anybody, quote and unquote, but then I saw this person, and then in our conversation I realized, oh, here's an opportunity for me to add value. But I didn't even pitch myself. I pitched a solution. I pitched something that had occurred to me. So the way my mind works is, any brand organization, I'm thinking, oh, these people can do this better, this can work. But then when I see an opening, I think about, how can I add value to this person, and how can I communicate this value to this person? And that has opened other doors for me. So I've learned how to do networking in a way that is authentic and genuine to me. So what I really, really prioritized in that time, or what that taught me, is to have genuine connections with people. So like that example, I really, really thought that she was beautiful. I was really, really intrigued by the things she was telling me about her role. And then I saw an opening. You get to listen, and you get to see an opening where you can also articulate your value. Now, it's not every time that, oh, you meet somebody in an office, but there will be times you're meeting people, and just from the natural conversation that's happening, there are connecting points. And then I learned how to connect on social media. I found that when you meet people, if they give you their number, that's fine. If they don't, go and add them on LinkedIn. I'll give you a very recent example. So I had attended a Shivening event, and one of the panelists that was speaking, I was just really intrigued by the audacity and the courage and the things that she was sharing. Now, I knew that if I walked up to her at the end of this event to go and meet her to say something, there would be a lot of people wanting to speak to her. And frankly, honestly, I just really wasn't interested in doing one-on-one networking. But I was like, I want to connect with this woman on LinkedIn. So I think the next day I sent her a request on LinkedIn, and I always try to add a note. I don't add a note, maybe I already know the person, but if it's someone that I'm trying to just connect with for the first time, I add notes. Good evening. I can't remember what I wrote. I have to go and check my LinkedIn. But I did mention where, that I was at this event. I did mention how I found what she shared on the panel very striking, and I would love to stay connected. It took a while, but she accepted my request, and we are connected. I don't know what can come out of it. I don't have anything to sell or propose to her at the moment, but we are connected, and that's fine. So I've learned to just connect with people on social media and then nurture the relationship. So maybe I'll talk about nurture the relationship in the second half, which is post the Comms Avenue. So starting the Comms Avenue, we needed people to come and speak, because we brought together these communications professionals. At the time, we were 50, and we wanted to just learn from the senior guys. Remember, this was in the middle of the pandemic. People, we're not going to the office. I use LinkedIn. You need to check my DM. Oh my goodness. But I had something that I was able to offer. Now, this brings me to a quote that I saw from Tosin Olaseyinde, the person who runs Money Africa. She wrote that it is easier to network when you have something you've built that you need to compound on. Now, some of you may be like, Adedoyin, I'm not building anything, and that's fine. But I find that when you have something, when you have, and that's why I call it value proposition, when you are clear on what your value proposition is and you refine your elevator pitch in such a way that that value proposition is clear, networking is a lot easier. I'm not saying that it will be smooth all the way, because there are some people that they are not nice. And I've met a few of those, but I found that if you want to build your network, build your industry contacts, you have to lead that conversation with value. Anyway, so back to the story. We needed speakers. I went on link, as long as this, and the person had senior communications lead, group head of communication, senior, and me, I go for the, top. A lot of them did not answer, but the first person that gave us a positive response was the I can't even remember her role, but she was a senior executive in communications in a global organization, and it was just off of LinkedIn. And what did I say? Hi, my name is Adedoyin. I've just created this community for communicators. This is our vision. I'd like to invite you to speak on this session. This is the goal. This is the aim. And she was like, oh, this is a great idea. I love it. And that was how she came on. But now imagine us having her. So we didn't have a Nigerian or African as our first speaker. We had a global communications professional as our first speaker. That was also a selling point. So subsequently, I would say to people, this is the series. What was it called? I think it was called A Chat with a Professional. I can't even remember the name. I would then lead with that to say our first speaker is the global head of communication, and they're like, okay, the global head of communications of this organization is paying attention to these people. Perhaps I should pay attention. I don't know. I'm just putting that as an aside. But the point is, I had something that was tangible. They're coming into the comms avenue, and there was a vision that I could paint to them. They could see that seriousness. For you that you're saying, okay, I'm not building anything, it can just be in your career. There are many examples of people that have shown their hunger, their drive, their commitment, and by that they have gotten an opportunity, or they have gotten a connection within the industry. So after the pandemic, I started becoming more deliberate about attending industry events, because then it was now crucial. So my motive had moved from, I want to network with clients that would use my services, to I need to network with industry people so that they can come and talk to us in the community, be a speaker at our webinar. I remember that the first event that I went for was the WIMCA, Women in Management and Communications event, which is an annual event. It's a gathering of women in communications, but I got to connect with people, and I would go there. Hello, my name is Adedoyin Jaiyesimi. I run a community of over 1,000 professionals and would really love to have you as a speaker. Do you mind if I connect with you? They give me their business card, but immediately I'm going to add them on LinkedIn. Hello, it was great to meet you at the WIMCA event. Looking forward to stay connected. Here's more information about looking forward, because again, the notes, the character, you have a character limit, so I won't be able to tell them more about the comms avenue in that message, but I would say something like, looking forward to connect so that I can tell you more about what we do at the comms avenue, something very succinct because of the character space. And then when they respond, I then give them the full brief on what we do at the comms avenue, and if they want to plug in, or how they can plug in if they want to. So that was my strategy going in. But like I said to you before, I always led the conversation with value. There's some situations and settings where it's not the comms avenue I'm coming up with. I'm coming as Adedoyin, a communications advisor or trainer, and I have to think about which side of myself do I want to show. And that's why your elevator pitch is so important. Practice your elevator pitch. Maybe I should do another video on elevator pitch, because I've done a lot of trainings on elevator pitch, what you should put in it, how you should refine it, and you need to tweak your elevator pitch depending on the particular setting and scenario. That is how you connect with people. Another way that I've connected with people in the industry, so I've told you about how I've leveraged LinkedIn, how I've gone for industry events, is webinars. Some of us will just attend webinar. Maybe your phone is on Zoom. I'm sure you're doing multiple things, and then after the event you log off. No, be deliberate. Who are the speakers? I even go through the names of the participants. Yes, I'm that deep. I go through the names of the participants. If somebody is asking a question and they say something, I'll go and check them out on LinkedIn, like, oh, I'm in this webinar with you, love the question you just asked, start to stay connected. That's how I do it too. And again, so for me, it's not that, everybody responds, but I'm just going to go out there and do what I need to do, right? And then if the person responds, great. great. If they don't respond, that's also fine. But I will take that step. So that's how I connect with people. Sometimes, if depending on the meeting, some meetings allow you to send private messages. I can send private messages and all of that. And then there's some meetings that they will say everybody should put their LinkedIn profiles. I will be adding everybody. So please make the most of these webinars, and I will connect with the speaker. In fact, I remember a few months ago, I attended a webinar, and there was a woman there that she was sharing so much insight. I think she's from Poland. Immediately as she was speaking, there as I was LinkedIn composing, just finished listening to your brilliant presentation at this XYZ event. Would love to stay connected, just to rub minds or whatever. There's a way I usually just couch it, but in a way that helps the person, or in a way that really communicates value, because it's not just about, oh, I want to get something from you. Remember, I spoke to you about value. Value is really about what can I give. So I nurture those relationships in those ways. So when you attend webinars, when you go for events, find a way to also connect with the person, preferably on LinkedIn. People's Instagram, some people, their Instagram is for vibes. Some people are very serious about their Instagram. So I just advocate for LinkedIn. Now, I think it's very important for you to be deliberate about adding to the bank account of that relationship. And this is what I mean. So you meet someone, you make a connection, what next? And that's why I always advocate staying connected on social media. So they post something, maybe a job promotion, I say congratulations. If they give you their number, it's their birthday, say happy birthday, we're coming to the end of the year, season's greetings. You might think that everybody in the world is doing season's greetings. Greet them. It's an opportunity to stay connected. If you don't want your first interaction to now be you asking for something, let it be that you have nurtured. Sometimes what may look like out of the blue, I'll just send a message to someone and say, I see the great work you've been doing this year. Well done. It's so good. Just congratulations. I just want to commend you on, how bold you've been, how courageous, or whatever it is. And just send it to the person. You don't even know if that person even needs that message at that time. But anyway, that's a side point. But my point is, nurture those relationships. You're going for a meeting with someone, go with a gift. There's someone that I'd reached out to, a senior professional in a multinational, and I just sent her. So I'd met her, so we'd been connected on LinkedIn. How we even connected on LinkedIn, I don't know, because I just used to follow people as long as you're in comms, because I'm thinking about, this person can be a resource person, this person can be a mentor, this person can be this. I would just stay connected. But we had been connected, and I'd gone for an event that she was there, and I didn't get to meet her. She dropped a message in one of my posts, I missed out on meeting you. And I was like, oh my God, we need to meet. Can we do lunch and all of that? It would be such a privilege to meet you. And we synced calendars, and we were able to do lunch. I took her for lunch at my brokest season. So first of all, I picked a restaurant. Did she pick the restaurant? I think she picked the restaurant, because I asked her what was convenient for her. So I went to go and study the menu. I said, okay, Adedoyin, this is what you're going to order. I was like, God, please, let her not order something that would be so highly priced that I would not be able to pay, because I didn't have so much money. And I can't remember how much we spent, but I paid for it, because again, that is me wanting to nurture a relationship. Now, this is not a relationship that I've made an ask or anything, but that's how you build connection. So I'm just telling you stories. I'm not going to give you a long list of do this and don't do that. But from these stories, I hope you're able to pick out some points that you can also apply when you are networking or trying to build your contacts within the industry. So nurture those relationships. I have an example of the senior professional she's not my mentor, but she's someone that I really respect and look up to. How I connected with her years ago was on a different project when I was running my agency, and then over the years we just stayed connected, and now she's a super valuable person to me and to the comms avenue. And I always show that appreciation, right? Making sure I say thank you. She posts something, I'm saying congratulations, wow, this is great. Just staying connected. And Instagram story is also very good for that. Don't be a stalker, but try and stay connected. And then the more they give you access, think about, okay, how can I show this person appreciation? Because I'll tell you something, the senior guys in the industry that you want to connect with, people just want to take from them. They are always taking. So you have to ask yourself, how can I be a person of value to this person? So you really need to define, first of all, why am I connecting with this person? What value can I add? That value, I'm going to say it a few more times because it's important. And in expanding your network within the industry. Please don't ignore your peers. I always say this: connecting with the senior people is great, connecting with the CEO is fantastic, but your peers, you never know when your peer will be a connecting point, which is why, remember, when I was speaking before, I was telling you about genuine connections. Just make genuine connection, because it actually helps. So if I can just wrap up, because I didn't want this video to be too long, but I wanted to tell you the story so that you can see how networking comes to life. Be a genuine and authentic person. It does make a difference. It really, really does. And don't be a user. Always think about value. Always think about, what can I do to add value to this person? The opportunity to add value may not be immediate, but if you come from that perspective of value, there will be opportunities for you to demonstrate that value. And I need to say something, actually. Learning to wait for the right moment to make an ask and shooting your shot. There are some times that you meet somebody and you immediately, you gotta shoot your shot. And there's some times where you have to wait for the right moment, nurture that relationship for a while, and then you make your ask. How to know the difference? Honestly, how I navigate it is through the Holy Spirit. There are some times I just sense in my spirit, Adedoyin, go for it and shoot this shot. And then sometimes the Holy Spirit is like, wait. So that's how I navigate it, just knowing the difference. But it's very, very important. It's not always all the time that you meet somebody for the first time and like, this man is my ticket to my next job opportunity. I must ask right here and right now. You have to be discerning about being able to distinguish the two. So back to the point: be genuine, lead with value, and when you meet people, stay connected with them on social media. It helps. When they give you their business cards, save their numbers, send them an immediate message or follow up, and then look for opportunities to connect and send messages. But don't be a stalker. Balance these things and participate in conferences, events, and sessions within your industry, in your country and outside of your country. This year, I specifically went to Ghana to attend the Women in PR Ghana event, and there, another networking story. So there is the veteran PR comms professional, Auntie Esther Koba, that I've always loved to meet. I just love her. Always wanted to meet her, and she was not a speaker at this event. She was not scheduled to speak, so in my mind I wasn't even going for her. And then we were outside, and here she's walking in. Now I'm standing with my friend, who also I met on LinkedIn by virtue of the work that I do at the Comms Avenue, and we were meeting for the first time at that event. And I was like, oh my god, that's Auntie Esther Koba. I really love her. I was like, oh, okay, come, let me go and introduce you to her. And I went. Now that was an opportunity. Remember when I said elevator pitch? Ladies and gentlemen, as many of you may be listening, please, if there's anything I want you to take out from this video, go and hone and practice your elevator pitch, because you can meet people anywhere and you must be ready. So immediately, I'm going to meet her. Hello, I'm going to introduce someone. My name is Adedoyin. I run the Comms Avenue. I think she had heard about the Comms Avenue, but then, I expressed my admiration for her, and I expressed specifically what I liked her, because when I say you inspire me, what does inspire me? It's really articulated that. And then she asked me a question. I was like, oh yes, I do that, or I can help with that. Yeah, she had a question, and I was like, oh, I can help with that. And then she asked for my business card. In fact, I took one of those bags, and my business card was so fun. I was like, hey God, my business card. But I found it and I gave it to her, and she sent an email, and we connected after that. But that's just an example of how, just be ready with your pitch. What am I saying? Even if I'm a 9-to-5 person, what am I saying? What drives me? What is my value? Why should people be proud to be associated with me? Again, maybe if more people show interest, I might just do a separate video on honing your elevator pitch. But it's so important when you are networking. So go for these conferences, meet people, have genuine conversations, and then when you meet the people, nurture those relations. Because what then happens, or what has happened for me, is that I meet somebody and they're like, oh, Adedoyin, you need to be in this round table. That round table exposes me to more people. I meet another person, the person like, Adedoyin, you need to be at this event. I'm recommending you as a speaker. Then I go to speak at this event. I'm meeting even more people, connecting with them. Again, I will stay connected on LinkedIn, and people recommend me, or I'm connecting with people and they're saying, oh, Adedo, I think you should speak with this person. I think if I sometimes when I went to Kenya, for example, there's someone that will say, I think you should meet this person. You will like this person. I'll say, okay, let's do lunch. So you just never know. I don't know where any of those relationships are going, but I am connected with them. So this video has been longer than all the other videos in this series because I really wanted to just share from my perspective on this topic of networking. Give it time. Don't put pressure on yourself to meet someone or be connected with someone. Just really give it time. Allow yourself to form connections and step out of your comfort zones. For my fellow introverts, please read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, because I was telling you how I found networking awkward, small talk, very I had to go and get that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. John Maxwell, everybody communicates and few connect. You need to be able to step out of your comfort zone. When you go for events, don't just go and then that's it. Talk to somebody, even if it's one person, and stretch yourself. So I hope that this has been helpful, and if you have further questions or anything you want me to clarify, please feel free to ask. Thank you for watching. Bye.